Joining us back on the show, Ross Chastain, NASCAR driver, and getting ready for a big race in Atlanta at Echo Park Speedway. How you feeling leading up to that one, man?
Good. It's cool to technically, name-wise, be going to a new track. It's a lot of new branding. Christopher Bell and I got to go down for the unveil of the name unveil and the new paint. A lot of new paint going into the facility. So cool that the Smith family's blending Echo Park Automotive into the speedway there, and now we've got a new name for an iconic racetrack.
Definitely. I love that you bring up the new name, by the way, because a lot of things in NASCAR are about tradition, right? Some races have been around since just forever ago, but some races are really making a name for themselves right now. Where does Atlanta and Atlanta Motor Speedway, or now Echo Park Speedway, where does that stack up in your mind and like the hierarchy of some of the greatest tracks on this circuit?
I think since the repave, the show we put on in Atlanta is incredible. I think from the driver's seat, it's wild and crazy and hard to manage 400 miles around there now in the pack. And then when I watch Xfinity and truck or watch the cup races back, it's just hard to keep up with everything that's happening. Cars are sliding around, but we are drafting. It's like Daytona and Talladega were years or decades ago before they both got repaved and redone, and where they're so smooth. Atlanta is not a very smooth or well-paved track, almost intentionally, I think, by the SMI group. And, man, it puts on some good racing.
A couple of weeks ago when you won the Coca-Cola 600, somebody infamously stole the hat right off your head. So let's just put it out there into the clear right now. If you do well in Atlanta, what's a better way as a fan to interact with Ross Chastain?
I don't think anybody on this earth likes something taken from them, and I got my hat taken after I told him no. He asked, and I said no, and he ripped it off my head with my hand on the bill. So definitely very intoxicated fan, and I hope he regretted doing it. It's just not, this is not the right thing to do. So I think if you just treat me normal and talk and congratulate me on winning the biggest race of my life and for our team, our biggest win, I think you just enjoy the moment. He's out on pit road illegally, not supposed to be there, but he got there, and then just enjoy the moment and move on. I think he took it too far. So any celebration of a win is good. Just keep our hands inside the ride.
Good advice there for sure. And you were just telling me as well, you've got another update to share, kind of leading off of your success at the Coca-Cola 600. What else have you been doing past couple of weeks in the fallout from that victory?
Yeah, we got to tour the Pentagon last week. Incredible tour, private tour. Meet our Secretary of Defense, Pete, and got to meet his family, a lot of his kids, his wife, and smashed a watermelon right out in front of the Pentagon. Smashed 9 watermelons actually with his family. So that was really neat. I mean, look, it's a crazy time in this world, and there are conflicts in the world going on that our country is involved in. And he took time out of his day to come over and celebrate a great American win for the sport of NASCAR at the Coca-Cola 600 and for our number 1 team at Trackhouse. So he wanted to smash watermelons. It was his request to celebrate my family, which y'all know I love to talk about agriculture. So we put watermelons on a national stage today at the Pentagon, and just an incredible experience. Very moving for my family, who my grandfather, great uncle, and great grandfathers on both sides of my family served. And I drive for Al Neese in the Truck Series, a Marine veteran, they're the only veteran-owned teams in NASCAR. So really, really cool to tie all that together and get to experience so much of our country's history with a tour of the Pentagon and learning about it. I don't know a lot about our military and different branches. I've not been exposed to it other than the casual just living in America. So definitely was a very humbling day last week, and something my family and I will never forget.
Extremely cool. And yeah, you mentioned you're an 8th generation watermelon farmer. It is, of course, the peak of the summer in these next couple of weeks. So I was curious, there's nothing more summertime than having watermelon and a backyard barbecue. Does the Chastain family ever grill out? And if so, what's on the menu?
Yes, of course we do. Your watermelons are coming from Georgia right now. So it is perfect time to be going to Echo Park Speedway, just south of Atlanta. Our watermelons are coming from less than 2 hours south of the Speedway down in Cordele, Georgia, the self-proclaimed watermelon capital of the world. And that's where my family's set up right now and harvesting farmers' watermelons there, families that we work with, and they grow crops, their crop for us to sell, and we work with them. So it's really cool. My brother and cousins, aunts, uncles are all set up down in Cordele. So a lot of them will be up at the race. It's just a 2 hour ride up, watch the race, 2 hour ride back, and get back to work. So yeah, it's definitely watermelon time. Watermelon time is year round, but we are definitely known for summertime is when people think about us. I'd say as far as grilling out, I mean, you can't go wrong with chicken. Okay. Barbecuing, I like a drumstick. If it's later in the evening though, give me a big old sirloin. Like I want a big steak, it's red meat, and of course watermelon. And I do partake in Busch Lights. So if we're grilling out, I'm looking to have a beer.
That sounds like a really good time. A lot of protein, a lot of hydration, a little fun as well. Very cool. Let me ask you something that kind of ups the stakes a little bit heading into this race. And a couple of weeks ago, one of your rivals out there on the track, a certain Chase Briscoe, is chirping about you over the radio in the Mexico City race. And I know that you're the type of guy that likes to let the racing talk for itself. So as you get into the home stretch of this season, though, with tensions building, does any of that stuff ever boil over on your end, too? And how do you keep yourself, hopefully, cool as a cucumber or maybe cool as a watermelon out there on the track when everyone else is trying to get under your skin?
I have really no grasp of why Chase reacted that way. He ran into me first, knocked me off the track. Mm-hmm. When I remerged, we were still side by side. So definitely, he started it and then he wanted to scream about it on the radio. And I think that's just a part of our sport, that you have communications in the car. We're hot. We're working hard. Heart rate is up. Stress is, literally through the roof of the car, and the whole world can hear it, and it's documented these days. So I don't want to speak for Chase, but I know for me, when I say stuff, I usually wish that I could take it back because it's a heat of the moment thing that you think you're in there alone, or it's just you and me and my team, and it's not. The whole world's listening. So that's something Chase gets to live with now, and we'll see if he really meant it. And you'll be able to tell the way he races me if he changes. We've always had a good relationship on track. He's usually beat me, especially in the Xfinity Series. Like he won 9 races in 2020. I won 0, and we raced all season long. And so, not sure if he'll continue it on, but yeah, his words have meanings, man. So he said it, and now he gets to live with it.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, you've noticed, you are a driver on the rise. You're starting to pick up some really prolific wins, and I can't help but think that anytime somebody new shows up on the scene who's a real threat out there on the track, that's kind of the reaction. So I've always been a believer, and this isn't necessarily a question, but more of a thing that I'm going to say. I tend to believe that life is kind of like a video game. If you're encountering enemies, you're going in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Let me ask you this, because here in Knoxville, where the station is based, we love college sports. We love NASCAR too, don't get me wrong, but we love the Vols, for example. Do you have a college team that you follow?
Florida Gators, man. I had an aunt and uncle, Carl and Steve, that gave Chad and I, my brother, they gave us no option about who we were going to root for from birth. They were basically, as long as we can remember, it was Florida Gators against the world. And we got to live through some great times through all their sports and root for them all the time.
I gotcha. Well, the Gators have been a little bit of a menace for the Vols, so we're going to let it slide this time, Ross Chastain, only because we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. Thank you for joining the show.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Go Gators.